Welcome to the History channel. Today, we're gonna go over the nation of Kindergard.
Kindergard was a very powerful nation. It was a very prominent nation, and it's also a very impactful nation when we look back to how we got to be who we are today. It started in your average kindergarten classroom. We focused first on little Tommy. He was your star student. Most gold stars to his name, most lollipops to his name, fastest kid in the grade, and the holder of the most coveted position in the classroom, line leader. When is the footy first? The kindergartners were learning about divine right, as usual. And we see a spark in the eyes of little Tommy. There is inspiration and ideas in those eyes.
This divine right thing, I like this. This is good.
He's the line leader. He's the best kindergartner the school has ever seen. He was chosen by the teacher to be the line leader, and it was on that day that the nation of kindergarten was born. Before we talk about the history of kindergarten, there's a very important piece of their culture that's going to explain to us a lot of the background of who this country is, and that is their flag. The flag features a crown, a sun, blue, yellow, and other elements. And understanding what this represents, as you see here, is going to really show you what the nation is. The crown represents the absolute monarchy in the state. Much like in England, where the monarchy controlled the church and led top-down reform, the nation of kindergarten at its founding were very similar. The yellow and the sun represents the divine light and celebrates the belief that the original monarch of kindergarten was chosen by the teacher, a divine figure in the nation. Together, the flag represents the divine, illuminating the monarchy, and by proxy, the nation of kindergarten itself. Also, the sun has shades because that's what you do when you're in kindergarten. The early government of kindergarten was a feudal monarchy. The first king, formerly Little Tommy, now named King Tommy I.
I, King Tommy I, formally declare the following: that I have been chosen by the teacher, supreme God over the land and protector of its people, for the position of line leader. I believe that I have been chosen divinely. It's a big vocab word, guys. It's something like that. To rule over this land as the supreme ruler of all. And I hereby form and consecrate this nation, Kindergarten.
Also, I'm like really cool, so like only the cool kids can sit on my lunch table because I'm like really cool. Like my coolness, like if everyone's coolness is like down here, like my coolness is like all the way, like it's like up on the roof of the school. So like I'm like pretty cool.
King Tommy out. Mic drop.
Would appoint leaders across the nation to nobility. These nobles would manage the government in smaller regions. After 150 years, the current king, Pleithias II, would learn about how King Louis XIV centralized power by forcing nobles to stay in his palace of Versailles. King Pleithias II decided that he wanted more power because power was, in his words, good. Pleithias would create policies forcing nobles to sit at his table. Thus, pitting them against each other and limiting their power to act independently. The government did not like new inventions that spread different ideas, such as the school's new printer, as they did not want the spread of ideas that would go against the government and established religion. Thus, they would ban pamphlets, printed works, and enforce policies allowing only the government to use such printers.
To understand Kindergarten's origin, we need to understand their economy. The nation of Kindergarten was initially founded on an agrarian society. It would grow simple foods such as Play-Doh and copper wire, and as the Industrial Revolution occurred, Kindergarten would implement several economic practices that would support industrialization. As a result of mercantilist beliefs, these policies would lead to a factory-based economy. Many members of the lower class would begin to work in factories using crayons to mass-produce homework. This was initially a costly and slowly endeavor and an unpopular occupation, but new machines, such as connecting several crayons with the teacher's hot glue, would then make it mass-producible with a ton of cheap, unskilled labor. The belief system was characterized by belief in one all-powerful God, the kindergarten teacher. If you disobeyed the teacher enough times, you would get kicked out of class. Its purpose is that the students believed the teacher has full power over all classwork and religious issues. The teacher would act through the chosen teacher's assistants. The teacher has control over their social classes, choosing where their name pins are and on what color, either red, yellow, or green, and the highest color for the Pope and monarch, blue. The social classes maintain stability. It clearly divided the groups of kindergartners while providing some slight upward mobility. Due to the nature of the system, most students would be in the bottom red end tier as the general workers, helping to keep the balance needed for ideal economic system. Life was extremely different across the various colors. The nobility, green, and the king, blue, made up the higher classes, and as a result of Plethius II's centralization of power, sat at the same lunch table. Here, there were plenty of resources, and these important members of the feudal monarchy would oversee the whole classroom. Although in truth, they would never leave their table. However, for the other colors, life was brutal. You, being a yellow and a red, you would work tirelessly and have to put in so much effort to truly live and thrive in this society.
Additionally, we have the Super Secret Space Boys and the Super Cool Swagger. He referred to these groups as the Real Ones. The Super Secret Space Boys were his version of attendants, which they learned about in class. They were there to deliver and enforce his orders and policies. On the other hand, the Super Cool Swagger are his version of tax collectors, where they go out and collect taxes on the imported Labubus and fidget spinners. They're incredibly loyal to him as he was chosen to line leader, and because they served directly under him, getting their pay from the king. They are heavily opposed to revolutionary ideas, and the Super Secret Space Boys would take extra action against students by filling their backpacks with slime. Plus, the taxes on the boo-boos and fidget spinners would be increased by the Super Cool Swagger if they were to find someone spreading revolutionary ideas. These groups helped the ruler administer his empire as they oversaw various aspects of the government. Plus, as they were directly under him, they helped the ruler, or king, maintain his authority. Formerly, nobles were chosen to oversee these aspects of rule in their territories, but by taking the power from the nobles and putting them into his hands, he continued this tradition under the kings of consolidating power.
Oh, didn't see you there. First off, when we examine the Kindergarten Revolution, we need to look at the art. students would draw crayon artwork of their teacher, showing the culture's heavy belief and importance on pleasing their teacher as a god. These are funded directly by the people in their growing of crayons for the art productions, showing how artwork promoted power as the teacher's assistants were an extremely powerful group. They were able to fund this art. However, crayons were initially highly expensive, which explains why only powerful groups such as the TAs, the Pope, could commission these artworks to promote themselves and their beliefs. Where's the toilet paper?
Additionally, there is a key shift in the Wenyu sauce, believed to be regarding Dainonegis. In this period, society shifted toward peopleism, in which artists would depict humans in everyday life. As this theme evolved, this trend would continue. Furthermore, these Wenyu sauce artists led to more detailed artwork that featured greater realism and study. This art was originally only created by the higher-ups to get approval and favor from the teacher. However, after the Wenyu sauce movement, it caused the other students to understand that they could do it. This led to increased religious skepticism in the period. As artists often depicted religion, this led to increased religious prominence in the nation, and it increased their power in the nation.
The revolution was partially set in motion by the industrialization of kindergarten. As kindergarten industrialized, they created new systems and technologies that made crayons more accessible. As crayons became more accessible, thinkers would use them to spread their thoughts and ideas. They would record their thoughts on the desks at which they sat, and they would spread their ideas by writing them on the back of homework and then spreading that said homework.
These revolutionaries were inspired by the Enlightenment. Thinkers they learned about in class, such as Wary Mulrakasemble and Montesquieu, who pushed ideas that the government created unfair class distinctions and that the government needed multiple parts, or sticks, respectively. In kindergarten itself, these revolutionary movements were headed by thinkers such as Scott Ol Sun, plus Brandon All-In, a pro gambler and fortune teller who used his wealth to promote and fund revolutionaries.
The super-secret space spies began to slime out the crayon makers, who were spreading these Enlightenment ideas. In response to sliming out the super-secret space spies, someone named Brandon All-In went against the law and slimed out the Palace of Fair Skies. Plethius II then wiped out the entire crayon fields in response, angering these crayon lower-class workers, inspiring formerly mentioned Scott Ol Sun, who was part of this group, to start the revolution, with the crayon movement getting the entire lower crayon working class to come together and finally take down this monarchy. The official start came with the Battle of Wegos. Students received reports of, "A student has fallen into the Bricks River in Wego City."
A man has fallen into the river in Lego City.
Plethius II pushed the student in to get all the 6-7ers to the Bricks River. This caused a mass wipeout of 6-7ers, creating a new problem for our crayon movement. However, Scott Ol Sun wasn't discouraged at this moment. If anything, it fueled him to continue. He organized what he called his Reign of Tewa, waiting until lunchtime before completely invading the fixed Palace of Fair Skies and taking King Plethius for the battle that would decide the fate of the crayon revolution. This would either bring victory and change to the classroom for the crayon workers, or completely crush any future attempts of revolution to the nation of kindergarten.
Epic rap battles of history.
My camera quality's so
In the blue
bad.
corner, King Plethius II. And in the red corner, Scott Ol Sun. King Plethius, you're washed up, old man. I formally challenge you to a duel.
Okay then, bud. I see how it is. I accept your challenge. Okay.
DJ, drop that revolutionary stuff.
Wiki wiki.
Scott Ol Sun? More like Scott Ol Thumb. You trying to overthrow me, but your crayons are whack. Like your crayon fields, I'm gonna slime them out in a pack.
let's start with what's wrong. You consolidate power, you berate the people. You spend so much money, everyone thinking it's funny. It ain't never been sunny, so how the teacher's shining down on you. My revolutionary spirit is the bleep out of you. You know that it's true. Probably why you always be smelling like poo.
I'm the fastest in the grade. It's just a shame. You trying to overthrow me like the man in Brick River, you 6'7"ers came. The thing you call enlightenment, that's just a bunch of bull. After I cook you this lunch period, my stomach's gonna be full.
Revolutionaries, they spit in the truth. The way you mistreat the people is truly uncouth. The way that a monarchy ain't the way to go. I think it's time that everyone knows. You stop the spread of info, you keep us behind. These trains still spreading ideas, so stop even trying. You stuttering, you stammering, it's time to shut up your blabbering. I'm gonna deal with you in a not-so appropriate way. Let it be known that monarchy's really cray-cray. After the success of the Cran Revolution, the pre-established Enlightenment figures, as well as newer political intellectuals that rose during the time period, would come together to form a new government. They would unite the ideas of key revolutionaries like Montesquieu and Wary Woolrock assemble to form an entirely new system: democracy. They would finalize a government that used Montesquieu's ideas of checkmates and balance beams, as well as the idea that different social classes were inherently unequal and unfair. Together, this would make a democracy that used a very different government. It would let people in a region vote on a representative for each and every table group that would form a democratic oligarchy. They would name this new nation First Grad, showing their commitment to learning and reason that founded their nation. The revolution would attempt to help the working class, and while the nation, which promoted commerce and featured a national joint stock company, would bring wealth to everyone in the nation, it would truly only benefit proportionally the lives of the middle class. The revolution would have some extreme consequences, as it led to the death of many, such as King Plethius, who got absolutely destroyed by some hella sick beats, yo. We got Evan, Mr. Skizzle on the professionalism. We got Brian, Mr. D. Bernardo, cause he got mad dough. His money falls from the sky like it's rain when like water when it precipitates. He got the cards, he money spreading. We got me, we got Spencer, Khaki Crusader Parsons on the mic. Hopefully you're not staring at my mouth right now. Peace. They're gonna establish democracy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5 more! Get back down!